Hi, welcome back to the Men Are Forged podcast. I'm Cartwright Morris. You should know me. I'm flying solo today. It's a little different than usual. We're not unpacking a chapter. I'm inviting you into something starting August 11th, something I've created, a young professional development program called The Forge. And we're going to be jumping into the men of Genesis this fall. Before you tune out, I built this because I wish I had somebody hand it to me at 26. So give me the next few minutes. This is where that next step goes. So let me just start by mentioning Isaiah 48:10. See, I refine you not through silver, but I have tested you in the furnace of affliction. Here's the conviction behind everything I'm doing. If you've listened for 5 minutes and you've heard me say your life is the forge God uses to shape you into the man you are meant to become. You use your job, you use your ambition, your fears, other people's expectations, or just people around you. That voice in your head wakes you up at 2 a.m., right? The scoreboard, nobody else can see. You keep checking on it constantly. The questions are the same over and over again. What is success? What kind of man am I? What is it that that really matters? What is it that I do that really matters? So here's the way I've come to say it. Your life is the forge God uses to shape you in the man you're meant to become. The question is, will you partake or be a victim of the denier of it? Will you succumb to those things and say, it is what it is, or deny that God's using it to really grow you, strengthen you, develop you in the man you're meant to be? Because this is what the Forge, this young professional development program exists, is for men who really want to discern, discover, and know and embrace the forge that God has them in and come to really know Him, the God who forges you. So what is it? Let me give you the kind of the shape of it. It's 16 weeks. We're going through the book of Genesis, the whole arc from Adam to Joseph, a full room of men in their 20s and 30s. Right now I'm looking for about 6 to 8 guys. We've got half of that filled in 2 of my groups. It's not a lecture. I'm not standing at a whiteboard, even though I do use the whiteboard every now and then. Every week runs the same rhythm. We encounter the story. We heat up the furnace, in a sense. We explore that tension, we embrace a hammer, and really and then we enter that forge and really hold up the mirror and really reflect. And what are the things that are really growing us and shaping us? And that's kind of what hits you in the face every single week. And 12 years in, and Genesis is still doing surgery on me, still unpacking stuff. It's such a powerful book. We take week 1 in Genesis, and we talk about the creation story and the heart of God, where we see really the heart of God from the beginning, the very beginning. And it's fun, and it's engaging, and it's a lot of questions and discussion. Remember the first time that one landed, and I've spent years convinced that the problem was my schedule, my boss, my circumstances, you name it. It got quiet enough for me to see it. The problem was me. I was living like my worth was my output, like I was only as good as my last win. And Genesis 1 gets this. That's where it starts. If we really look at the audience, the first heard by people fresh out of Egypt, 400 years of slavery, where a man's entire value was his brick count. That's it. That's the whole scoreboard. And into the world where God says something else, almost offensive. Before you produce anything, before you made a single brick, I called you very good. That's week 1. And it doesn't let up from there. The thing. What is the thing? It's the room. Is the one piece that this is where part 1 actually think that this program sets itself apart from anything. Everything that's really been shaped me has been being in a room full of great men that I admire, respect, and the collective wisdom when we really show up, and not to impress, but to serve the guy next to me, or really to learn, to grow at the end of the day. It can be selfish and selfless at the same time. So there's 3 pillars here. It's community, challenge, and clarity. Pillar 1, community, that's the weekly group. Real teaching, direct questions, honest answers, One concrete step before you walk out the door. No sitting in the back, staying comfortable. Everybody's in it. Pillar 2 is more of the challenge. That's the podcast. This is what I hope to use this podcast, and you'll start seeing as these episodes roll out, in some ways to challenge you individually, help you prepare if you are coming to weekly meetings, but also for those out there who aren't in the weekly meetings. Each ever extends the story into your Tuesday commute, your workout, your drive home, and that matters more than it sounds like it should, because there's what happens with most groups. You feel it Monday night, you're fired up, and by Thursday you're gone. The podcast keeps the tension alive. When you leave the group, is the podcast keeps that tension alive between sessions, and the momentum doesn't reset every week, and you're not starting cold. As I know, we all get busy and life happens. Things develop, and you miss weeks. I got 16 weeks. I don't think every guy's gonna be able to come out each week, but you stay up to date. You stay deep in the discussion. You stay deep in the forge by keeping up with the podcast. And then pillar 3 is the clarity piece, and this is where the monthly one-on-one mentoring I offer with myself or placement with somebody else. Who's tracking your story, not reading off a script, but life updates, entering the forge, action, prayer. That's the meaning. It's where everything in the group is teaching gets named, gets personal, gets follow up on. We'll say the quiet part out loud. That's the piece most guys want to skip, because it's the one piece you can't hide. It's easy to sit in a group and nod along. It's a lot easier to fix other people than sit still and let God work on you. Trust me. On that one, I spent a solid decade as an expert on everybody else except problems except myself. I was gifted at it, genuinely. The forge doesn't end when the room expires, right? We want to keep the momentum going. We want a guide who knows your story. This is a month-to-month thing. So it's not a one-time thing. You don't get to sit somebody and just vent or help them fix your problems for one session. This is an ongoing monthly thing. When men are really willing to engage in relationship, which we get in Genesis 2, you really find out the value of it. And when you have somebody to walk alongside you who's been a couple steps before you, it really matters. And accountability, that's personal. It really, it's not just your generic stuff, but it's true to who you want to become and who you're really developing into. Yeah, so the practical stuff, let me just say this. There's 2 ways in, a third coming from the men who want to lead. So, yeah, so I've kind of mentioned, so for me personally, this is not for everybody. If you really want one-on-one mentoring, there is a low cost to it. $50. It's for some of y'all, maybe a night out, or a date maybe, but it's $50 a month. And what it is the reason why I do that is because I need personal investment for you. If I'm going to carve out time in my schedule to meet with you regularly, I want there to be some skin in the game. And then, like I said, there's a weekly podcast that comes with it as we talk about it. This really helps the momentum grow and continues to challenge you in going through the book of Genesis. And what's great also about the podcast is you get to kind of real time hear me and Bo share our own personal stories connected to how we're really growing and learning. So with you. And the last thing, I do want to mention is in this first column here is the workbook. I know not all of you are looking into joining a group. Some of you are the guy already thinking, I could lead this in my city, my church. The guys at the office, I see you. I know it. You're there. I see them all, you in Birmingham, Alabama, where our group meets. I walk into any breakfast place at 6:30 or 7 a.m. and there's men meeting. But the question I always get is we need content. So I've got something coming for you, a workbook, a plug and play, built to pair with a weekly video of myself. And you can open the story with your own full room full of men without having to build the whole thing from scratch the way I did. It's close. Keep an ear on this feed and mentorforge.com before it drops, because you'll hear about it here first. Here's what I'd say to the guy on the fence, the one listening on his commute right now going, yeah, maybe in the spring. You've watched how God works by now. You've got enough road behind you to know He wastes nothing. You've heard me say that multiple times. He wastes nothing. Not your failures, not your dead-end job, friends, community, not the season you're white-knuckling through right now, this second. It all becomes material. But here's the catch. He asks you to show up to the forge, to experience the heat on purpose, to allow those things in your life to really shape you and mold you, because there's nothing being wasted here. So the metal doesn't shape itself, right? We are the workmanship of God. So August 11th, that week, that's a Tuesday. I have a Tuesday morning group. I have a virtual group on Tuesday, and then I have a Thursday morning group. The in-person groups, we meet at the Center for Executive Leadership here in Birmingham, Alabama. And yeah, we're starting with Genesis 1. You can go to mentorforge.com/theforge and schedule a call with me. Or you're able to really just grab a spot on there. I will see a notification. You can do it through my scheduling link. Don't come alone. Bring a friend, coworker, bring a guy from your office who may look like he got it all together on LinkedIn. Especially that guy, right? And we'll see you in the room. We are being forged by the challenge, built for purpose, but ultimately to know Him. So that's you. See you Tuesday, August 11th, 6:45 a.m. or 7 a.m. on Thursday, August 13th. Today's episode is brought to you by Bravenly Hydrate. It's hot out there, and you gotta stay hydrated because regular water is just not going to cut it. And the main brand sports drinks got stuff you don't need to consume. So I recommend hitting the link in the bio and checking out Bravenly Hydrate. Lemon lime's my favorite flavor, but I recommend checking out more of Bravenly products. It's really great stuff for your health and well-being. So hit the link in the bio to find out more about Bravenly products.